Alright everybody, how you doing? We are going to do an NBA lineup for the 5th of April 2016. I did pretty good the night before. I'm sorry, 2 nights ago on the 3rd. Just Avery Bradley, I threw him in late because of the Derrick Rose uncertainty, and boom. Sorry for what happened to Avery Bradley, but he did not play. So that did not help me. But the first game we're going to look at, there's a hell of a whole lot of games. You got 5, 8, 11 going on starting at 7 p.m. The latest 10:30. You got the two LAs, LAC and LAL. You know what that is, Clippers and Lakers going against each other. Then you got Minnesota and Golden State. But the 10 o'clock game I want to focus on right now is Portland and Sacramento. You have a great, huge Las Vegas spread on this one. We're talking 221. And the favorite is the Portland Trailblazers by only 2.5 points. How do you like that? 2.5-point favorite over the Kings. 10 p.m. You're going to have a shootout, and there's a couple people we're going to look at right now. And the first person we are going to look at, let's go through their starting lineup first. Portland, you got Lillard, you got McCollum, you got Al-Farouq Amino, you got Harkless, and you got Plumlee. On Sacramento side, you got Rondo, Ben McLemore, Rudy Gay, Quincy Ashe, and the Boogie, DeMarcus Cousins, which, without even looking at any defensive stats, I can tell you DeMarcus Cousins is probably going to have a great game. And I'm going to tell you probably CJ McCollum is going to step up big for him. But let's go into Fantasy Crunchers, website I like to use. Check out the defense. DeMarcus Cousins, believe it or not, they have the defense ranked as 11th, but they have him projected for 50 points. Yep. 33 minutes. That's hard to beat there. And we'll pull up McCollum. Oh, where you at, buddy? I'm not seeing him. I'm scrolling. I ain't seeing him. I know I'm just overlooking him. Here he is, 24th, projected for 35 points, 35 minutes. Plus, he is down. He is down to $6,900. That is something we like. That is something we are going to write down. We are going to write down his name, C.J. Mick, capital COLLUM, 6,900. Shooting guard. So we're going to put him in as a possibility. And, of course, DeMarcus Cousins, because you can't go wrong with him unless he gets into foul trouble. But, hey, what are you going to do? Sometimes he does that. Your biggest jumper, I noticed, is Jimmy Butler. He's up $1,000. $900. So we probably won't be using him, even though I used him last time in the game. He got me 45, which is great. Got me 71 the night before, which is always exciting. But let's go back and let's take another look at another game. Big point spread we're looking at. Oklahoma City and the Denver Nuggets. 216 total. Only 8-point favorite by the Thunder. We pull up probable starting lineups thanks to RotoWire. And this game is starting at a magical time of 9 o'clock. And we're looking Westbrook, Robinson, Durant, Ibaka, and Adams versus Moutier, Harris, Jakar Sampson, former 76er, the Manimal, Kenneth Faraday, and Mr. Jokic, one hell of a good rookie. You know, a lot of people don't know he's a rookie. He's having a great rookie season. Denver, for some reason, they love them Russian players, and if they're not Russian, Ukrainian. If they're not Ukrainian, I'm sorry, I don't know what you are. But you're doing a good job, and you ought to take it as a compliment. Talking about matchups, Russell Westbrook, of course, looks like he's going to have a good one. Kevin Durant looks like he's going to have a hell of a matchup against Jakar Sampson. And really, Kenneth Faraday against Ibaka, that's going to be a tough one for both. Jokic against Adams. Jokic, like I said, is a rookie. He's either on or he's off. Adams is a pretty physical player. Now, Andre Robinson versus Gary Harris. Gary Harris can score. So, that might be a good one. But let's take a look at Westbrook here. We're going to open Fantasy Crunchers. We're going to go over here to Westbrook. Projected to have 50, 35 minutes. He averages this season 49. Consistency level of 80. That's pretty damn good. Going against 23rd ranked defense. So we're going to write down him. He's awfully expensive. But if we could find a cheaper player to go with him. I know right now I haven't gave you one cheap player that I like yet because I've gave you Cousins for 10,700 and Westbrook for 10,700. And I'm about to give you Durant. And I'm sure Durant's up there 10,000. And he is 10,500. He actually went down. He is projected for 50 as well. He is going against the 30th ranked defense. Jakar Sampson, like I said, is not that great. His consistency to get his average for 46 is a whopping 79%. You cannot go wrong with that. So we will write down KD. And we will make a little note with a 30 and a star beside him. If I can find it. And there it is. Okay. So that's looking like a good matchup there. But now you're saying, hey, we need somebody that's cheap. What are we going to do? I think I got your answer. Possibly. We're going to look it up. I like Jordan Hamilton against Philadelphia. Jordan Hamilton's going to be starting shooting guard. He's going against Isaiah Cannon. Isaiah Cannon, yeah, he's everywhere. The 76ers and New Orleans Pelicans. This looks like a good matchup to begin with. Flip over here to the Roto Grinders. Going to check out the Las Vegas line. And, yes, 2-point favorite is Philadelphia. Believe it or not, 9-68. Is a 2-point favorite over 29-47 Pelicans. Not great records. They start at 7, and the total is 204. We can get some points off of that. Hopefully, it's a close scoring game. So let's take a look at their starting lineups. Douglas, Hamilton, Babbitt, Cunningham, and Asic. If we're looking for the short money kingdom, I think we just found it. On the right side for Philly, you got Ishii, Smith, you got Isaiah Cannon, Robert Covington, who has been on a tear, Jermani Grant, as it looks like Okafor, and New Orleans Moel is out. Game time decision on Noel as of 10 o'clock on the 4th. And Carl, the ageless wonder Landry, I believe he went to Purdue. He's been having some good games, but let's look more in depth on Jordan Hamilton because that's the man I am focusing on right now. Jordan Hamilton, where are you? He is one of them players we're going to type him in. That's how bad. Well, he's not bad. I just don't see him. Hamilton. Where you at, buddy? There we are. Jordan Hamilton. Position shooting forward. He's going against 13th ranked defense at that position. That's Robert Covington. But they have him as the starting shooting guard listed with Babbitt as the shooting forward against Isaiah Cannon. So, as we look at it, he's projected for 32 minutes, 26 fantasy points. He's got a consistency rating of 80. And I tell you what, he played nothing in the 2014-2015 season. But since he has joined, he has 20 against Toronto, his first game, 17 against the Knicks. You got to remember, that's Carmelo Anthony. It's tough. Sacramento Spurs was a great game for him, 26 fantasy points. 30 against Denver his last time out, 28 against Brooklyn. Averaging 30 minutes plus his last two. 11 rebounds his last game against Brooklyn. That's great. 13 points. Even a couple assists. He has rose up to $4,600. We're going to keep him low. We're going to just type him in as a maybe. You know, at first I thought Hamilton was one of the twins. He might be one of the twins from Kentucky. I don't really remember. Maybe I think their last name might be Harrison. I don't know. But he is a good possibility. Or other possibility that I like on there is Dante Cunningham or Omer Asic. Wow. I don't really know. Omer Asic, man. Omer. O-M-E-R, Omer. He's going against 31st ranked center, but he's only looking to get 19 minutes projected, 12 fantasy points. That is a kick in the balls. But There is a savior at 4,300. Alexis Ajinga. Playing great lately. 37 his last time out against Brooklyn, against the 31st ranked defense in Philadelphia, and Carl Landry. 23 points doesn't look bad to me. We will write him down as a possibility, and we might get back to him. Like I said, projected 23. The other man that we want to look at, that I want to look at least, is Luke Babbitt. Let's take a look at Luke Babbitt. Good old Luke Babbitt. He's $5,000. I don't want to look at him too much. He's got less time than Hamilton, it looks. Hamilton's cheaper. Hamilton's better, in my opinion. So we will not pay too much attention to him. Let's find us another game here. We are looking at... Oof. Trying to get this one close. It's not going to be a blowout. Let's take a look at Charlotte and the Raptors. Toronto's 5-point favorite, 202. Charlotte's always confused me, so is Toronto. You got Jeremy Lin and DeMar DeRozan going against each other. Right there, that should hit you in the face and say DeMar DeRozan. Marvin Williams going against Scola. Scola ain't been playing well. And then Valanciunas against Zeller. You know, every time I try to throw Zeller out, he comes in with a big game. Every time. So that might be something we're going to look at there. Let's take a look at some of their players. Let's take a look at DeMar DeRozan to begin with. Of course, everybody loves DeMar DeRozan. The guy projected for 36 points in 35 minutes. It's fantasy points. 21st defense against Charlotte. What's he been doing lately? He did not play against Sacramento. He came off rest, but the night before, 27 points scored, 39 fantasy, 40 against Memphis, 46 against Atlanta. Those are good numbers in my book. He has a consistency level of 76, and he's an $8,000 pick, which is pretty high, but we are going to write him down. And another thing that we like is that Dwayne Wade. We don't like it because it is like, I don't know how to even put it. He's probable. He's hurt. Game time decision. So if you pick DeRozan, I'm telling you a completely different game because they're playing Detroit. So don't listen to me because DeRozan's going against Jeremy Lin. These damn dogs growling kind of got me a little thrown off. Let's take a look at... we're going to just look at DeRozan there. Courtney Lee against Norman Powell. Courtney Lee might be able to get you some points. Now, I do know LeBron James is going against Milwaukee, and he has, according to Fantasy Crunch, was a 50-point outing in him, and he's going against the 31st ranked defense, but he's also going against a Greek freak. Kyrie Irving, game time decision against Rashad Vaughn. That could be a good pickup. Middleton, game time against J.R. Smith. That could be a good pickup. Kevin Love, Jabari going against each other. Not much there. Monroe's fell apart. Timothy Mozgov. Chicago versus Memphis. Jimmy Butler versus Tony Allen. Tony Allen's got a good defense, so watch out for there. Zach Randolph versus Bobby Portis. And Paul Gasol versus the Birdman. Oh boy, could that be something beautiful. That could be something great. Randolph is projected to get 32. He's $7,300. 29th ranked defense. Can't beat that. That's good stuff. We're going to write down Randolph's name. Keep him in the bank. Randolph. We might want to use you, Randolph. And Mr. Pau Gasol. 41 is projected. 34 minutes projected. He says he's against the 9th defense. We're talking about the Birdman. Birdman don't have that great a defense. I don't care what it says. We're writing down Gasol's name. He is 8,400. So I've given you a bunch of $8,000 players and two $5,000 players. Whoop-de-doo. What are you going to do, Tyler? You can't make a lineup out of that. So let's keep looking. Matt Barnes versus Dunleavy. Barnes was on fire the other night. That was one of my best picks. And then he got in foul trouble and he cooled off. He's still in it with 29. He's going against Mike Dunleavy. That could be a big one. Jimmy Butler could be a big one too, but he jumped $1,000 in price from 7,800 to 8,800, or maybe it's 8,700. Either way, too big of a jump for me. You got Detroit versus Miami. Tobias Harris against Joe Johnson. Just by the naked eye, I don't know. I don't know what they look at there. Joe Johnson's kind of old, and Tobias, can't even find him on here. So maybe there's something I'm not seeing. Here he is. He's got him listed as a power forward. 6,400. He's projected to get 30 and 35 minutes. He's got a 70% chance of doing it, including, or so says his consistency. So that could be a good one. And then you got Phoenix and Atlanta, 8 o'clock. Ronnie Price versus Teague. Booker versus Korver. Keep Booker in mind. I'm going to write him down. Not even going to look to see what he does yet, because Kyle Korver, what can I say? PJ Tucker, Kent Bazemore. That's about even right there. Alex Lynn, Millsap. Al Horford against Tyson Chandler. That could be a Horford night. We'll write him down. And we've went again. Let's go down here to the Spurs and Jazz. It's going to be a low-scoring affair. Let's not even look at that. I know people love the Spurs and Jazz, but we're talking 185-point total. It's going to be a great game, but it's going to be a defensive game. Minnesota, Golden State. You're going to have Andrew Wiggins against Harrison Barnes. Karl Anthony Towns against Bogut. Write down Towns' name. Bogut is a game-time decision. Write down Wiggins' name. Of course, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson going against Zach LaVine. Let's write down Thompson's name. Let's go over here to the Lakers. You got Chris Paul versus Russell. I mean, hey, can't go wrong with Chris Paul, right? Jordan Clarkson versus Reddick. Clarkson was hot the other day. Led the Lakers in scoring. That could be a great possibility. We'll write down his name along with Paul and Clarkson. And Kobe versus Luka Muta. Kobe plays. That could be a good pick. Actually, Lakers is looking okay. You got Julius Randle, Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin just coming back. Randle's been playing all right. DeAndre Jordan. Got to write down DeAndre Jordan versus Hibbert. Okay, I gave you a long list here. Let's just recap it. McCollum, Cousins, Westbrook, Durant, Jordan Hamilton, Alexis Ajinga, DeMar DeRozan, Mr. Randolph, Gasol, Booker, Horford, Towns, Wiggins, Thompsons, Paul, Clarkson's, Kobe's, and Mr. DeAndre Jordan. Let's get more in depth. Let me get a lineup figured out here, and then I'll let you know what I got here in just a second. Gotta do a little figuring real quick though. Alrighty. So here's the lineup that I've come up with. It's going to be subject to change because this is 10:30 at night on the 4th. But here's my starters, and I'm going to explain why I went with them. Point guard, I got Ishmael Smith, 6,400. My other point guard, I got Tim Frazier, who is on the opposite team, New Orleans versus Philly. There, I matched him up. He's only 5,000, but he's been playing like an animal. We got C.J. McCollum, who I think is going to have a big game against Macklemore. Devin Booker, who I think is going to have a great game against Kyle Korver. Durant against Jakar Simpson. Can't go wrong with that. I went with another New Orleans pick here, Jordan Hamilton. He's going against Isaiah Cannon in the matchup. I actually got a lot, now that I look at this, of New Orleans, Philadelphia. I got Jermani Grant, and I got Dante Cunningham going against each other. Mostly Cunningham because he's $3,900, and for $3,900 he can get you 20, 25, and you want that. He's going to play a bunch of minutes. Jermani Grant, I picked him 5,100, and then my big dog is DeMarcus Cousins, who I think will get, if not 50, at least 40. So let's go in. I'm going to tell you why I picked these people. Let's go in first with Isaiah Smith. Isaiah Smith is going against the 25th ranked defense. He's down some money. He's only 6,400. Projected to get 32 minutes. His projected points is 28. Now his consistency level is only 55, but you've got to factor in that he wasn't the starter. I forget who he was playing for, but they really didn't use him that much. We click here, look at his last couple go-arounds. Okay, against Indianapolis, he had 22 points. He had an off game, 5 for 13 shooting. George Hill, okay defender, not the best, but this is an off game for him. Night before that against Charlotte, he has 15.9. Only 4 points scored. Kemba Walker really got down hard on him. He went down $400 off of those two. But the nights before that, 30, 42, 46, 26, 25, 26. 26 against Isaiah Thomas. That's a big game. 25 against, I'm guessing, George Hill again. 26 against Moutier. 46.3 against Damian Lillard. Even though Damian Lillard has been on a cold streak, that's still a hell of a game. 42 against Curry and the Golden State Warriors. And 30 against Kemba before his 15-22 effort. So, he's got 2 bad games. He's got 6 good games. Let's do the math. I'll take 6 good games, 2 bad games. We are throwing him in there. Our next person we are throwing in is Frazier. Tim Frazier. He's projected to get 28 as well. 28 minutes projection. Tim Frazier has been hot. He's $5,000. He's going against Philly. 24th ranked, so he's going against Isaiah. Against Brooklyn, he had 46. 37 minutes of play. Against Denver, he had 33. And against the Spurs, he had 26. That's his last 3 games. New York Knicks, he didn't do too well, but against Toronto, Indiana, Miami, Mr. Chris Paul, and the Clippers, and Portland, he had at least 20, except for Miami and Portland, which we're asking Tim Frazier. He'd do a lot. He's doing a lot. He's going to get some minutes, and he's going to play well, hopefully, for my camp. Let's go on to the shooting guard, C.J. McCollum. I don't explain why I liked him earlier for all the same reasons. He's got a great matchup against Ben McLemore. He's projected, according to Fantasy Crunchers, for 35 points, 35 minutes. He's down in price. Again, 24th ranked defense. He hits his mark 73% of the time. Can't go wrong there. My next pick, I picked Devin Booker. Devin Booker's going against Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver can't really do anything but shoot the 3, and he's not even really doing that very well this season. I say that, he'll probably drop 30 or 40, but we're going to knock on wood, and we're going to say Devin Booker. He's projected for 33. He's 6,700. McCollum 6,900. Got a little bumpy in price there, but we're going to do it. Shooting forward, Kevin Durant. I mean, you can't go wrong with Kevin Durant right now. He's just an animal. It's almost playoff time. What are you going to do? You know, he's got a great matchup against Jakar Sampson. He's projected to get 50. He's one of my main players tonight besides Cousins. My other one, I'm going with Mr. Jordan Hamilton, who is going against Isaiah Cannon against Philadelphia. He's averaging big points. Hamilton, who we had trouble finding earlier, but I found him anyway, is, I lost him, there he is, $4,600, 28, 30, 26 his last 3 games against Brooklyn, Denver, and Sacramento Spurs. Them were great games. He's only getting 13, 14 points, but he's getting the rebounds, and he's getting a few assists. I like that. You should like that. Everybody should like that. Power forwards is where I went thin, and I'm hoping that it pays off. But we went Jermani Grant, and we went Cunningham. I know it's iffy on that. Dante Cunningham, he's projected to have 34 minutes. He's projected to have 20 points. He's against 18th ranked defense. You're going to have Noel out. If Noel does play Jermani Grant, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch him up to Ed Davis or Tristan Thompson or something like that. Somebody in that price range. But we're going to take a chance on Dante Cunningham. He does have a ceiling of 33. He scored 33 once. Hey, all power to him if he can do it again. And then we're going to take Grant as the other. And he's projected 26 minutes, 21 points. his last couple games, 32 and 28 against Indiana and Charlotte. Miles Turner and Marvin Williams used them up, played great. 37 minutes his last outing, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. He gets in a little foul trouble, but hopefully he'll be okay. Now our big boy, of course, is DeMarcus Cousins, projected to get 50. Hasn't played the last 2 games against Washington. His game he played before that, he had 60. 42 against Dallas, 47 against Phoenix, 43 against Chicago, 59, 51 against New York and Detroit. What can you say wrong about him besides that he's got a little anger issue and he gets Mason Plumlee? Yeah, Mason Plumlee is a tough man, but he is not DeMarcus Cousins. Those are my picks. Subject to change because, like I said, it is 10:30 at night. Keep an eye on Jermani Grant if you're going to use this lineup or use him in your lineup. And Tim Frazier is not listed as a starter, but he has been playing a lot off the bench. Everybody else is listed as a starter. Everybody else, I do not see any game time decisions on them. And I'm projecting this lineup hopefully to get 320, 310. I know it ain't the 400 like everybody likes, but when you're going head-to-heads like I do in a few tournaments, sometimes it's not about getting the best lineup. Sometimes it's about making that little bit of money back and maybe a little bit in your pocket. You have a good time, good luck, and comment and tell me what your picks are. And I appreciate the guy that commented on my other video. I hope to help you. Sorry if it didn't, but if you watch this again, good luck, dude. Good luck to all you guys. See you later.